Welcome back to the Underway podcast. This is episode number 8, which I think we can say we're all actually pretty proud of. Yep. Jack expected it. Jack was one of the main drivers of this podcast.
Nah, let's go. Episode 8.
Yeah, episode 8. How
keep
good.
showing
I'm
up.
surprised we got past week 1.
Ross thought this was going to be 3 weeks. But anyways, underway's the only way, and today's the day we're going to get underway. I think, did I nail it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect. Have you
Perfect,
hit record?
I think so.
Should you plug that in? Quick little, that's all right. We can keep talking while Ross does that.
Yeah.
no, let's go on.
Yeah, maybe plug it in. Maybe
Yeah,
plug
give
it
it a
in.
little plug.
Anyways, guys, just while Ross is doing that, just today we're going to sort of go over, we're going to start off with, obviously we've had a change in season and it's pretty cold. So we're going to start off by talking about our personal experiences and just a few tips on how you can go training in winter and how you can get the best of it, because we can all agree that training in winter and training in the cold, it is significantly harder. Well, I find once I'm warm, it's okay, but obviously getting out of bed or getting into the gym, they're some of the hardest bits or hardest months to train. So yeah, that's what we're going to kick off and start off with. Well, I reckon we hear from Jack first, because he's probably the most consistent with his training. Jack,
Winter.
man, what keeps you going in
The
winter?
cold months are upon us. The coldness is coming. The gloomy days, the lack of sun,
Russ is still in shorts though.
the darkness.
Yeah,
Russ.
it's just haven't done my laundry. I couldn't find my pants.
Oh, training in winter can be tough. It can be challenging. It can more so just become more of a mental challenge than anything. Something that I like to remember is that there's people that train in the weather that we get in winter year round. You know, there's people that train in Europe and in England and countries like that are gloomy and are cold year round and they do it. So we get blessed to have a few months of the year, or even more than a few months of the year that are pretty warm and yes and nicer to train in. So it can get hard. I feel like for those early morning trainers, that can be tough to get, just a little bit tougher to get out of bed and train in the morning. I mean, something that has always kept me accountable is having some sort of routine, knowing when I'm going to train and having that almost booked in, and putting it on a on a pedestal and really valuing my training time and deciding that 6 a.m. is the time that I go down and train. That's my hour for myself to go down and work on my health and fitness. I value my health and fitness.
So
why?
do you write it down?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I might write it down, or I've got it locked in with someone.
Oh yeah.
I've got a training buddy. I've got people that are going to keep me accountable and keep me showing up, to the gym. At the moment we're training at 2:00, and Jay and I are on that. I'm not going to no show him. Like there's
You
just
train at 2.
we're training at 2:00 at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I thought you trained at 4.
Yeah. So we were training at 4 previously, but yeah, just moved it back a couple hours. Just to sort of get some more room, because we were training the classes, and so now we want a bit more room just to practice transitions and spacings of workouts and things like that. So, but yeah, definitely having like a someone that you're like, hey, I'm showing up to the gym at this time, and then like when you don't show up, and then you have to go look at that person in the eye. There's just like this they know, they're like you fucked up.
It happens. It does happen often when you coach the morning classes. You see someone come in and they're just like, it happened. Who's famous for it? I think it's Adam Germain. Adam Germain is famous for it. Someone rocks up. I think it was Adrian Bella rocks up, and he's like, Adam was supposed to be here, but he's no-showed me again. And it's funny the banter they have. But I do notice that happening a lot. Russ always shows up. Who else no-shows?
Yeah. Oh man, there'd be plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty. And
It does get harder when it gets colder. It does get harder.
You
for
don't know.
yourself.
So Russ is always there. He might be late. If Russ is like, we're training at 7 a.m., he's
Oh,
you're
man,
always-
I no showed this
Oh,
morning.
wait, he actually no-showed this morning.
Dang.
Well, I got to the gym.
I'm
but I
giving
got to
Russ
the
that
gym.
look right now. I'm giving that. Can you see it,
Hey,
Russ?
man, I go to the gym. I was just here an hour and a half later than I was meant to be here.
He still went
He
though.
still went.
I came to train. It's just that I had my alarm set for 6:15. Alarm went off. Gail's like, oh no, I'm too sore. I'm rah. It's not me that's the stopper. It's Gail. She's like, I need another hour's sleep. Boom.
Why don't you just get up and then Gail, I guarantee you in 10 minutes you go, oh, fuck it, Russ is going, I'm going.
Yeah, that's hard when the missus is doing the
still
opposite
need,
thing
like,
to what you want to do, and then you got to take charge and take the lead.
Yeah,
almost.
we're only 2 weeks. Like daylight savings always throws you around for a few weeks. It takes me a few weeks to get back to a normal routine after daylight savings because everything's an hour later, right? So, but it's just getting to bed early enough is what I find hard. So you get to bed an hour later, then when you're meant to get up, it's like it's that much harder. To get
Bro,
yourself
I just
out
thought
of
I was
bed.
drinking too much caffeine. I was like, why am I sleeping so late? I literally just realized that's why.
Yeah.
It's an hour later.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
So your body clock
I was
isn't
like,
adjusted
what the
to
fuck's
daylight
going
savings. It
on?
takes a little while. So once you get over that hump, I mean, then it's all systems go again. But it definitely is, the warm weather makes you want to move, and the cold weather makes you want to crawl under a blanket and not move. So it's just one of those things. You've got to, like Jack said, you've got to put your training on a pedestal and make sure that the reasons for why you're doing this outweigh, the reasons you don't want to do it. And the thing is, regardless of what day you've had, you always feel better for completing your training than when you didn't. You always feel better. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the ones that feel like I really don't want to do this today, chances are that's the ones that you're going to feel better than ever. The days that are easy, that if we could have easy days all the time, it'd be beautiful, but that's not reality. You know what I mean? Nothing's ever perfect. Nothing's ever going as it should. You have a greatest plan in the world and something comes and fucks it right up. So, you've just got to say to yourself, like, well, you've got to make compromises and go, well, I said I'm doing this thing, I'm doing it. And
I think that's a good point. Like people will have a plan, and then if it deviates, it can derail them. Instead of like realizing that it's not derailing them. It's just the train taking a turn and going down another path. And it's like doesn't mean that you're going to miss your training. It's like you did this morning. You're like, okay, I missed the first call because it just didn't go to plan. I wasn't able to make it happen in the first instant. But hey, you know what? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Leave that behind. I'm still going to show up and do it. Like, when can I get there? Can I get there? I missed the morning. Well, all right. Can I get there after work?
Yeah.
Can I get there at another time?
I think that's like the beauty of training in the morning too, because generally speaking, the only thing stopping you from coming in the morning is yourself. Because, the rest of the household's asleep. There's, you don't have things that are getting thrown left at you from other directions yet in the day. In the morning, usually no one's on the phone to you saying, hey, where are you or whatever. Like, whereas if you train at night, quite often you could have things that happen in the day that stop you from getting here in the evening. Like,
That's
I don't know.
fair, dude.
Like, you could have kids doing whatever. You could have, your mates calling up saying, oh, we haven't seen each other. I'm here. I haven't seen you in 2 years. Catch up tonight. You know what I mean? Like, whereas everyone's sleeping in the morning, and if you're here at the gym training, bang, you've just ticked off the.
Do you train better at night?
I train better in the morning.
I used to think that, but I personally think I train better. Like, not to say training in the morning's bad at all. I think for me personally, I have with a few meals in me and a bit better hydration at night.
Oh, probably.
Like, if I woke up and sculled 2 glasses of water and probably ate better, I'd probably train fine. And obviously got used to it again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm liking training a bit later, just the fuel and the hydration, personally.
Yeah, I
But
think.
you've done it for ages.
Yeah, I think you get used to mornings. I think the mornings, you can have some mornings where you don't feel like you're just just rolled out of bed, right? You're half asleep. Your performance isn't probably as good as it would have been if you were up for a few hours and had a meal and whatnot. But sometimes if I train in the night, it can be the opposite problem where I haven't had quality nutrition throughout the day,
You've eaten shit.
and then it feels a lot harder in the evening.
Or it's been a stressful day, or you've been on the shovel all day, or you've been stuck at a desk all day. Like,
Yeah.
like there might be certain things that, didn't happen in the day that the most ideal to get and do a training session. But I mean, nothing beats a good warm up and, will prime the body and get you going to be able to hit a good session. But yeah, there's definitely less curve balls that happen in the morning.
I find it pretty crazy, the people that train in the morning. Like, I reckon if we put a vote out there or got asked them to what they did, I reckon 70% of our members don't eat before they train. Do you eat before you train in the morning?
No.
See, that I find that crazy. I don't know. For me personally, I don't know. I would be able to talk to anyone.
Coffee? No, you got your
Nah,
aminos.
I have that amino energy, but I know that I always have big dinner, right? I always have a big dinner, and like all you've done after dinner is basically gone to bed. So you've got
Yeah.
a lot of fuel in your body to burn first thing in the morning. You don't need to then have another meal. I feel like if I had another meal, I'd feel bloated. I think that's why I like training
Not
in the
even
morning.
like toast.
I like training on an empty stomach.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't know.
If you're training with food in the guts, then you're like, you're getting a stitch.
But I think there's
once
something
the
to it,
heart rate
like
gets going.
you got to be able to do both. Like I think you can train yourself to be able to do both. It's
Yeah.
like, I was having this discussion the other day with someone, and changing training times from, I used to train 11 o'clock all the time. I'm like, my body just knows and my mind just knows that when 11 o'clock's rolling around, like that's when things are going down, and that's when I'm training. But then I'm like, oh, now I've got to train in the afternoon at 4 o'clock, and I created that and made that my schedule, and it's like I'm not used to this. I'm sort of tired by the end of the day. I sort of get that 3 o'clock sort of like the sleepiness hits me at 3 o'clock, and like that wave that can't. And then I'm like, oh well, I've got to sort of change my nutrition around that, and then I don't get out of the gym till late. So then I've got my routine at night changes a little bit, and then. But I think like just adjusting to the different things of training, and I think food's one of those things where you're going to find what you like best, and Sam probably has found that it's most optimal for him to eat with some food in his stomach and to feel a bit fuller, a bit more satiated once he's begun his session, and once he's finished that the strength session or portion of the training session, and then likes to go into Metcon feeling a bit more satiated. But Russ might feel like, might make him feel a bit sick to do that, to have some food digesting in the gut. But then there's like the science of like what's actually optimal to do before you're training. And, I was working with the sports dietitian, and her recommendations were to have, your pre-training meal 30 minutes to 1 hour before, high carb meal. Seb eats 3 bananas and a Yo Pro before he trains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's mad. That's mad. He's,
Three? I don't even think I could eat 3 bananas in a week. Does he actually have 3 a day?
at
He's
least
training?
just pre-training.
He's training twice a day.
His mum, I crack me up because his parents own a fruit shop, and so she's like, I've never seen anyone eat so many bananas. I'm just like, we just laugh, we just cracked up because we're the same. I just go to the banana section. I just load my trolley up with bananas. Like I grab green ones. I grab like ones that are like about to be yellow. They're going to be like ready, and then I grab like yellow ones, and so I'm like got like
ready to go.
Bananas
Yeah.
are very versatile.
I sort of view them
You
like
can do
traffic
it-
lights.
You can do a lot.
Like I've got my green ready to go. I've got my yellow, they'll be ready in 2 days, and I've got my red, they'll be ready in 5 days.
Green ready to go, man. It's not the opposite. Green's
No, it's in the traffic light, like green go. So like that's green is yellow for the banana. Like that's the conversion.
Bro, my brain.
So because
My
like red is
brain.
like stop,
I
I'm
don't-
not gonna eat the green banana. And then like yellow is like it's not quite right. That's in the yellow light.
I don't think
I
we should be
believe you
talking
do.
about
Tread-
traffic lights.
tread
and
warily.
ever again.
That's just my system of thinking. That's how I think about that.
That's why we don't understand you half the time.
I was cracking up yesterday. I was PTing as, and he was training, and he like, what's it called? You built like a bench pull thing.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Bench rows.
Yeah,
Prone rows, bench supported
like-
rows. Yeah.
What's that? Yeah. Anyways, bench supported rows.
Put a bench on 2 ply
He-
boxes.
Yeah, bench and 2 ply boxes. He was training with someone, and they had both their
Had the male and female RX.
yeah, had both their weights on either side. And it looked like wheels. And Jack's like, "Oh, it looks like a car." And he just sits on it and like pretends to drive. I don't know why it cracked me up so much, but I just picked. Oh man, the things that go through your head crack me up.
You gotta have fun in the gym, man. You gotta enjoy
yeah,
yourself,
I
you
just,
know?
It sounds like you have in front of the fruit shop, dude.
Oh man, 100%. Yeah, I like going shopping. It's just you just cruise through the grocery store, just relax. You talk to the person behind the deli. I met a chess player behind the deli actually. He was telling he was rated.
What'd you say? You're playing chess tonight?
Oh,
We just asked, hey,
I
do you
don't,
play
I don't know
chess?
how we got into it. I was just like, what's up? I'll have a couple of schnitzels. I've been eating schnitzels lately. I got some nice thick schnitzels at Woolies. I like them. Anyways, and I'm just like, he's like, what's on for the weekend? I think we were doing our chess tourney on the weekend, and he's like, I play, chess.com, whatever, cool. And I'm like, what's your rating? He's like, I'm 1500. I'm like, what? No way. I'm like, because I'm only 500. I'm like, give me your number one training tip, and I will do it. And he said the main thing you got to do is you just need to choose one opening for white, one opening for black, and get bloody good at it. Get bloody good at those openings, and then just use them. Yeah. So that was his tip. Anyways, yeah. So, but got to be prepped with your bananas. Otherwise, you're getting to you're gonna have to go back to the shop for bananas, and no one likes to do
Why is our chess tournament not the topic of this podcast?
Oh,
I mean,
I don't think they.
I was fired up after that.
We had a chess tournament at Jack's house.
did you guys have fun?
Yeah, no, it was good.
And the final was Jack v Russ. I don't think we cleared up who did you technically won, didn't you?
I won
Russ won.
that game, but I felt like it was a hollow victory because I felt like it was my third game of the night and I was in the final. Like I played other games, but it felt like the elimination bracket was like we only had 7 people or something playing, so it got pretty thin pretty quick. I was like, what? This is the final?
But Jack was still winning later.
Yeah.
Did you lose?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Those 5-minute games.
We might have to
5-minute games throw me.
We might have to rematch that, but it was funny watching it.
Well, I thought it was a good test run, and we had a couple of people that said they were going that didn't, so I'd sort of set up a scoring system for the set amount of people to come. So, it was the difference of having 8 and 7 people, so it just meant someone had to buy through to the next round. But I don't know. Russ was all up in the scoring system. He was great. Had his hands all over it. I don't know. I reckon he skewed things to make him win for him. All I know is as soon as I threw on that side trance, we had the 5-minute games. He cracked.
100%.
So we had we just after we finished the tourney, and then I'm like, right, 5-minute side trance round. So I threw on the deep techno house.
Brandon hated it.
It was like
It was
that
a
sort
bit
of
too
music.
much. It was high stress.
And you got to play, you got to play a move, then you got to hit your and then Russ blundered his queen, and it was hectic.
Alright, anyways, let's wrap that up. Let's get back to what we were saying.
How many total games did you lose? Because I only lost 2.
And that those 5-minute ones, I think. Technically I lost 3, but one of them was me losing my timer run out, and me and Luke
Not this shit again.
Luke both had a pawn and a king left over. It was a bit like that's a bit of a hollow victory there.
What did
Luke was just timing everyone out and then shaking their hands.
slap it?
I don't know.
Big bro
Something
slap.
about 5 minutes it's not a lot of time. It's not,
Yeah, 5 minutes of burpees. That's a lot of time. 5 minutes of chess. It's not much.
5 minutes of
Perception,
isn't
isn't it?
enough.
All right, well, let's get off this chess topic, man. Back to what we were saying. But anyways, back to winter.
Yeah, the key is to keep having fun in your training. Keep doing hobbies you enjoy, like chess, and keep just having fun with your hobbies with training. Remember, at the end of the day, that you're going to go to the gym and have some fun. It's going to be a good way to kick your day off, and you probably you're always going to have a good workout. Or it's always going to feel good to just sweat. Get around some people, have a bit of a chat, and then get on with your day and get moving. Start the momentum ball rolling, get that avalanche going.
I just realised CrossFit's sort of one of the sports that you actually can play year round. It's a funny word. But you think of team sports, right?
They just don't play them year round, but you can play them.
I guess they could play in summer, it's hot. But
they're in the off season in soccer, you could go do indoor soccer, right?
Yeah, you could do indoor, or you play futsal, I guess. They had summer league, which was fucking stupid. You're playing in 40-degree heat. Yeah, it's just interesting.
What sports can't you play year round?
Just those.
Well, I guess the thing is, if you didn't play CrossFit year round, you probably wouldn't get much better at it. If you only did CrossFit a few months of the year and then
it's because it's indoors, man. Indoors, you can do it every day.
Yeah.
Is that why all the strongest people in the whole world come from countries with snow? Because they can't go outside and do anything?
And they just got to stay inside and train.
Yeah.
Maybe. And it makes you fucking tough. I reckon living in cold countries. Those people that live in cold countries,
They're not expending energy doing useless things, man. They just got all that energy to lift.
What's
Just
useless?
sitting by the
So-
fire, and then they go, "Babe, get up and get under the barbell."
they're not drinking margaritas on the beach, are they, Russ?
No.
They're just yeah.
No, it is a cool little fact because all the weightlifters come from cold countries.
Yeah, Iceland. That's a big one.
Yeah, that was big in
A
CrossFit.
few good CrossFitters from Iceland.
Is there any good ones left still kicking from Iceland?
Yeah, I think Katrin's still kicking.
Young ones, I mean.
Young ones.
No?
Not that I know. I'm sure there is a few up and comers, but
Man,
none that are making too many waves.
The Aussies, I reckon we're the next big thing in CrossFit. Anyways.
Ricky Garrard fell off his bike.
Is that what happened?
He ruptured his acromioclavicular joint, which is like
Yeah.
his AC joint in the shoulder. It's the one that's like really hard to dislodge. Like I know this guy Jordan Schaller, he was talking about this. I've only ever met one person dislodge an AC joint, and he was deadlifting 1,000 pounds. Like, so he must have hit that tree or whatever he hit bloody hard because
Pushy, yeah.
pushy, yeah, mountain bike, yeah.
What's with CrossFitters and taking up dangerous sports, man?
Is it because CrossFit's dangerous?
It's not. It's really not.
Yeah, it's
No,
not. I know
It's a good outlet for them because I've noticed that trend too. Like people that do CrossFit generally like just love that sendy vibe. They like to send it. Yeah. So like
That's why you're playing chess. Start-
5 minute side trance, Jess. Need that adrenaline
Get that
kick.
real send.
Yeah. You know who stayed the most chill though was George. George almost had me one point. We ran out of time on our game.
I thought he did get you.
He got me on the last game of the night, but that was for chills. I was just straight chilling that game. I was blundering left, right, and center. I was like, have these pieces, George, no worries. Anyways, but he's just very chill individual. It helps in chess. And it helps in CrossFit too. You got to be able to stay chill, make decisions under
Well,
pressure.
he lost 4 in a row before he beat you.
Yeah, it wasn't George Knight. George is
Yeah.
pretty good at. George is pretty good.
Well,
at
he
chess.
did
He
well
is.
in
I
the
think
first bit. Then I think he just had enough. He wanted to play that game. What's that WOD game that he was playing?
Backgammon.
Backgammon.
Yeah. He was fired up over that. Yeah.
That does look fun.
It was fun. I played 2 games against him, lost all of them.
But I got a point, you got to be able to make decisions like fast, like good decisions fast under pressure. So I'll give you an example. Like Brennan's one of the smarter people I know. He makes great decisions all the time. I ask him for advice all the time. He comes and does a PT session with me. 4 sets into squats. He's like, what color is the sky? I don't know what's going on. Like,
Wait, what are you saying? I'm confused.
like under fatigue, you have to be able to make good
Oh.
decisions. Like under
Yeah.
pressure, you have to be able to make good decisions.
Okay.
Like it's key to being a good CrossFitter.
Yeah, but he probably hadn't trained in 6 months before he went and did that session. So if I hadn't trained for 6 months and I did 4 sets of squats, I'd probably be in a similar boat.
Yeah. So like what I'm saying is like, so there's like people in the CrossFit Games right now, like say there's 40 people, 40 men that compete. Let's take them, and there's like the people in the top 10. Like I reckon are just like breaking up the workouts at the right spot. They're running and making transitions and watching the other people in the field and like at the right times. Like they're just making better decisions on the floor. Like that's such a big element to like what you should do rather than just like 3, 2, 1, go, and you're like, and it's like I'm just gonna go unbroken here, and I completely forgot the game plan. But it's like,
just Seb mode it, dude.
oh man, yeah, Seb does go hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, the chess is good training for that. That's actually probably it's one of the reasons I like it. Just learn how to deal with the pressure and make good decisions under pressure. But same thing when you wake up in the morning and it's cold and and it's gloomy outside and you got to make a decision under pressure. And your missus is like, nah, not this morning. Just stay in bed, cuddle with me. And it's like, nah, I'm gonna go lift some shit.
Do you know what else helps as well? That we're freaking 5 weeks away from maxing. Are we 5 weeks?
Yeah, 5.
Well, when this comes out, I guess 4. 4 weeks away from maxing. So just remember back to that because now is sort of crunch time, I would say.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 weeks, just get the movements in. But like, yeah, now till then is crunch time. So
So
Get
have
in
a
the gym.
plan. Have a plan, yeah, and commit to it, even if it doesn't go to plan. That's what you're saying. Have a routine. Have a set time when you're going to get here. Another thing is probably have like your clothes ready to go, right?
Yeah.
You like have all your gym gear ready to go. So if you're going to train at night,
So you don't roll in shorts to
Yes,
the
yeah,
podcast.
so you have your gym gear ready to go. That's important. Even if you're getting up in the morning, like if you've got your clothes ready to go and you're not running around trying to find everything, and you're set up, you've got all the things you need to train. So if you're planning on training in the afternoon, have your clothes ready to go in the car. So then you don't. So if something gets in the way, you don't have to then go home before you get to the gym. That's an easy one, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then have a goal. Especially in winter, it's more important than ever to have something that you're training towards. You're not just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Because it is harder. But if you've got something that you've set yourself, you know what I mean? So at the moment, like, you know, we're all working towards this max out day. I think that's a pretty big motivator. It's a big motivator for me, at least. I'm like, I want to get better at these things, so I'm going to rock up regardless. And I almost feel like I'm letting myself if I don't. I'm like, damn, I'm not going to get better at those things if I don't do the work. You know what I mean? Not going to miraculously get to the end of it and have done half of it and then, you know, PBs, you live, so. So I think that in winter, it's more important than ever to actually set yourself some goals and have some motivators that are going to keep you honest.
100%.
So and if that's not, if you know, that could be like, I think always having internal focus on what's going on in the gym is a good idea because chances are if you get better at those things that you want to get better at, that's going to have flow-on effects in other things that you do in life. You know what I mean? You're probably going to say to yourself, oh yeah, probably don't eat that chocolate today because I'm trying to, you know, PB my Jackie time, whatever it is.
Yeah, and just to add to that as well, like I feel like a big factor for some people is they put a lot of pressure on themselves that they always have to train hard. Like, don't get me wrong, you have to train hard, but like having an easy day is okay. Like if you're like, yeah, it's one of those days you're having a conversation in your head, it's early morning, like shit, I don't feel like training, but just go in and just plan to take it easy and just see what happens because you more than likely once you warm up you start to feel a little bit better. But yeah, having an easy day is also okay as well if that's going to get you out of bed. I find I just go, I'll take it easy, and then next minute I'm sending it in the workout. That's what I find. That's what I find works for me. But yeah,
yeah, I think that for some people, it's probably the easy thing is the training. You know what I mean? The people who are right into it, like the hard thing is like making sure you're doing all the other things that are going to keep you training, and you know, knowing when to, you know, back it off and have a rest day, because like if you just keep rocking up and trying to go hard every day, you're not going to feel good at the end of the week. You're going to have your quality is going to get worse. So like, is it getting your nutrition in order, meal prepping, doing all those sorts of things that are going to elevate your training instead of rocking up and trying to press send? Yeah.
and we've also got some fun training for you guys. So we're in the strength block, we're doing the power lifts, then we go to the O-lifting cycle. Like, it's definitely fun at the gym right now. Well, I personally think.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best part of the day.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And actually, we're going to have a new training split, guys, if you're listening to this, because this comes out Sunday. Yeah, the aerobic day is going back to the Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
the
you.
aerobic day is going back to the Wednesday. The strength day is eliminated. Yeah, I think.
No, well, you'll find out next week. But we're doing less volume in the legs. Your legs might feel like they recover for once because they haven't felt recovered for the last few weeks.
Had some good feedback though. Like I've had some people really saying that they're starting to feel their legs become stronger and starting to feel those strength gains pay off from doing the extra squatting work, the extra leg work. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
They can already see next week. I've already put it in, Ross. They can already see the strength. They can already see the strength.
Yeah.
I just followed that template that you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a spare hour, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it. I guess the thing is like getting strong isn't easy. You know, nothing in life is going to be easy if it means something. So like, that's what I've noticed. Like, we've put together this. You know, this program is like it's going to get you there, but also on days I'm like, I'm so sore. This is hard. I don't even want to do this. I'm like, well, it is what it is. You can do it. You get to the gym, you can do it, but you don't come. Some days you come in feeling like, oh, I'm not feeling great today. I'm just sore. Everything's hurting. So that is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for me on those days, what I do is I really just try and have fun. Like I might like, it might seem like I'm goofing around a little bit, or I might be like making some like just trying to crack a joke or make a laugh, like have a laugh, or like just like I might put some like I might just try and enjoy the music a bit more, try and just chat in between sets, things like that, like and like just enjoy the training. Like actually remember that it's not just about the destination and trying to get to the goal, although that is a big part of it. It is also about what's going on in the journey and how you're doing it, and the way you're approaching it. It's like, okay, like just go in the gym and just like smile at one person. I guarantee they smile at you back. Bang, you got something to work off. And it's like, all right, get prepped, get ready to go. So then you can have a bit of a chat before class starts, and then you're ready to rock. And then I don't know. I just find like I actually enjoy the training. So like there's days where it's definitely harder. And I'm like, everyone has their bad mood days, their tired days, their days that weren't as optimal, and you're just stressed from this, that, the other, the things that go on. But if you can really just like actually just detach from all the bullshit and just go, you know what, I'm sore, I'm tired, whatever, but hey, I'm like here and just gonna be a good human and gonna have fun. Like if you can like remember that in the hard times, it's definitely makes it, just heaps more enjoyable, because instead of, you're not like, oh, I don't know if I should put that weight on the bar. You're like, before you know it, the weight's on the bar, it's on your back, you've done the set, and you're like high-fiving the person next to you and having a laugh, and it's like, no worries. Rather than like, all right, guys, very serious, we're coming in, like, don't talk to me. This is a big day for me in training. Like, it's like, just relax,
I don't
man.
think anybody's that serious.
I'm just taking the most full-on example like of that, So just steering away from that energy, just going towards the energy of just keeping it cruising and having a bit of fun.
Yeah, and you're always going to have bad days. You know what I mean? I guess the thing is, like, the more you train, you get more experience training. You train for a lot longer. Like once upon a time, if I had a bad day in the gym, it used to get to me. It used to be like this. Now this day is like I'm having a bad experience. You know what I mean? I'm negative about things. I'm like, oh, my training's not going so well today.
Yeah.
These days, I'm like, I know that that's just life. Like, you know what I mean? Some days you don't get optimal sleep. Some days you're not, you're not as strong as you were last week because you've been eating shit, you've been sleeping shit, and you haven't drunken any water, and you're stressed about some other external factor, and you're like, oh, I didn't lift what I lifted last week, but I know like next week, chances are I might be having a good day next week. So like sometimes you don't hit the prescribed numbers, and it gets you like think you're not getting better, but what you got to remember is like everyone always has bad days, and like. As long as you like your bad day and you keep moving is better than you not doing that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%. Dmitry Klokov says he has one good training day a fortnight. Just to put it into perspective.
yeah.
That's what he's known for. He reckons every other day.
That sounds like high standards.
Yeah. Every other day he says he doesn't feel like training and he trains like shit. He has one good day a fortnight. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
He's like, okay, it's strict best 180 kilograms, good day. Oh, he's a legend. I did his seminar.
Oh, dude.
He's a legend. I've got that photo. Oh,
I can't not think about that photo.
Yeah, it's like his mouth is a centimeter away from my neck, and he's just like, and I'm doing a back squat, and he's whispering me a cue, and I'm so serious. I'm like, this like weightlifter's behind, like. It was all good. It wasn't sus or anything. I mean, but like it became sus when my mate, I think it was Luke McMahon, reposted it and he put a little Pornhub symbol on it, and I lost it.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it. I know the photo, man.
But it was a sick seminar.
It's probably one of the funniest photos of Klokov I've ever seen. Like if you posted that on Reddit, it would go viral, guaranteed.
Might have to dig it up, repost it. It's pretty good. Yeah. But yeah. I think we're happy there. If you guys want to move on to our next topic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. The next thing we want to talk about is our strength block and what we're doing. And you guys know that the focus right now, or three of the five of pieces of what our focus is to work on the back squat, bench press, and deadlift. To work on the power lifts and the more raw strength focused lifts. In the generic barbell lifts, but yeah, we just want to talk a bit about why we do those lifts and yeah, I suppose, yeah, want to take it from there, Sam?
Yeah, I guess I can start. Well, the reason why we focus on them is essentially like they're staples, you could say. So all movements in CrossFit, you're either squatting or you're pushing or you're pulling off the floor. So training those three ranges is obviously a measurable base. And yeah, that's sort of why we prioritize them as well. And generally, as well, when you go to train your Olympic lifts as well, having a bit more strength potential can obviously help with your Olympic lifts as well. So when we do a cycle, we start with simpler exercises and we go to more complex. We start with more strength and we go to power. So that's generally why we lead from those power lifts into the O lifts as well. That's why we're doing the O lift second, if you didn't work that out by now. But yeah, I would say, just without me sort of thinking too hard about it, is that they're just staples in CrossFit and strength training, and everyone loves doing them. I'm sure Russ is passionate about them. So I'm sure Russ, why?
I mean, as Sam was saying, like, your strength, the stronger you are, the bigger potential you have to produce force, right? And in, the Olympic lifts is probably where, like, most people in CrossFit sort of, they want to get their Olympic lifts higher, right? They're probably more fulfilled within themselves if they PB their snatch or they PB their clean and jerk. But having an extra 10 to 20 kilos on your squat or on your deadlift is probably going to result in you PBing your snatch and clean and jerk, because your potential to produce force is bigger. So there's always a relationship between, like, strength and then speed and then power. So if you squat more, you have a higher chance of running faster, because you can, what propels you forward is you striking the floor. So if you can produce more force every time you strike the ground, and squat strength has shown to have like a correlation with, vertical jump height and ground force, so you're probably going to run faster, potentially. So most people in general are too weak to be good at CrossFit. Would you agree?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, most people are too weak. You're not going to get to the games because you don't squat 200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to get to the games because you don't have like a 2.5 times body weight deadlift.
Yeah.
Like
You're not going to do the RX weight in the workout.
Exactly. So, like, clean and jerks come up with 125. Like, to clean and jerk 125, you've got to have some sort of base for a pretty big squat before you can even think about clean and jerk at 125.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing is, because you're, breaking down, like, the clean and jerk, it involves a squat as well. But because you're just training that one movement, you've got the potential to load that movement heavier. So you've got the potential to get better at probably arguably the hardest part of the lift.
Yeah.
It's going to have a big carryover.
Yeah, that generally, like, how I like to look at programming is like there's skill and obviously strength, right? So we're still O lifting. So if you're listening, you don't train with us. We don't not do the O lifts and just do the power lifts and then come back to the O lifts, because you're not going to get better at your O lifts if you don't do them. We still do our O lifts with more of a technique focus. We're not really focused on weight on them. We're sort of focusing on fixing holes or weaknesses. That's sort of what we focus on the O lifts right now, rather than weight, holes, weaknesses in technique, while we're building our raw strength up. And then once we test our raw strength, because it's fun, that's what we want to do. We want to test it, and then we'll sort of flip it. We'll go to focus more on our strength in the Olympic lifts, and we'll be doing our squats and our deadlifts and stuff for our technique and things like that. So that's how we've always done it. We've found huge success, like I like to think we have some pretty strong people in the gym. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I think yeah, I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. All of it, all of what you guys are saying. Yeah, the raw lifts are really important. In terms of a CrossFit program, but yeah, I think they're important for improving your strength and improving your strength for life. And what I mean by that is just doing anonymous tasks that happen in life, picking up random boxes, picking up couch when you got to move things, picking up that TV when you got to put it up on the wall. You know, yeah, just doing random things that happen in life. You got to be strong for. Yeah, and I think that putting yourself in those simple, very very simple positions. That require you that allow you to actually press the most amount of weight and or squat or deadlift or squat or pull the most amount of weight overloads the body in a way that we don't find in other exercises. And I think there's massive adaptation that happens and massive overload of the body and the central nervous system that happens when we do these exercises. And I believe that they're some of the most beneficial exercises to be doing and have the most crossover to a lot of the other exercises that you're probably doing in the gym. They are the meat and potatoes, they're your vegetables, they're your staples, as Sammy said, that you need to be working on. You need to be improving if you want to improve your own lifts. You do definitely. You need to improve your squat. You need to improve your pulling strength. If you want to be able to do a large amount of push-ups and a large amount of, ring muscle-ups, ring dips, burpees, just that explosiveness out of the burpee, improve your bench press. I guarantee you, PB your bench press, your burpees start to feel easier, assuming you didn't get fat in the meantime, or you didn't get heavy in the meantime. Yeah, and I guarantee you'll be popping up and out of those burpees, the best you ever have been. Yeah, and so we're continuing to condition through our training cycle. We're continuing to lift, so we're still working on all our skills. We're not letting things drop off, and there's still even development that are happening in those areas. But strength is never a weakness, and weakness is never a strength. And we're working on the shout out to Mark Bell for that one. We are working on almost the most simple exercises that are going to make you strong. So yeah, want to clean and jerk more, squat more.
I mean, you got to get good at the basics. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to do the fun shit. The fun shit requires you getting proficient at the basics before you even get the chance to do the fun shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you want to,
what's the fun shit?
Fun shit's the Olympic lifts. It's the high skill gymnastics, but a lot of people don't spend enough time getting better at the pieces of the puzzle that require you to actually express proficiency in those movements. Like if you want to get good at bar muscle ups, you've got to have a certain amount of pull ups under your belt. And the problem is a lot of people go, I want to get better at bar muscle ups. I need to do bar muscle ups. No, you just need to get stronger. You need to be able to pull your body weight easier. And then the bar muscle ups going to be heaps easier for you. So it's the same thing with I want to get better at I want to clean jerk more. I want to snatch more. They spend so much time working on those, yes, you do need to do those lifts. Don't get me wrong. If you want to get better at Olympic lifts, you need to do them. Mm-hmm. But guarantee you, if you, at some stage in your year-long, training, actually focus on as Jack said, the meat and the potatoes, just the raw strength of getting a bigger squat and a bigger pull, then chances are that's also going to have an effect on your snatch and clean and jerk. So that's why we do it. And CrossFit's a squat. I personally believe it's a squat dominant sport. There's so much squatting in CrossFit. It's a very squat dominant sport. There's so many positions that you get in that pretty much replicate. If you've got a strong squat, that you're going to perform better than the person next to you. Think about all the movements that we do in CrossFit, or how much squatting is in a lot of the workouts. It's like thrusters, you're squatting, you know what I mean? You're squatting in a wall ball.
I reckon deadlift might be a better correspondent. I reckon.
I reckon you can pull. I reckon you can pull a round back, ugly ass deadlift and have a pretty decent deadlift and have a weak ass squat, and you'll get buried when it comes to like some sort of squatting workout. Whereas like your deadlift, your ability to pull the weight's not going to affect your ability to jerk a barbell above your head. If you've got stronger legs, bang, you just instantly.
You always see
increase
people
your
at the
jerk.
next level though with
True.
terrible deadlifts. They're just and weak as shit legs. That's what I find.
I don't know. It's a weird argument to have because I think
Yeah.
like
You don't want to be in that
you
situation.
you can get very good at CrossFit, like
Yeah.
or be good at some elements of CrossFit if you have a great deadlift. You can be good at. I probably agree with Russ. More elements of CrossFit if you have a strong squat because you're probably still going to be able to pick up a heavy deadlift if you've been working on your squat. Whereas I don't think the inverse of that happens as much. But yeah, I think that, just because you've been squatting doesn't mean that you're going to be able to hold on or deadlifting doesn't mean you're going to be able to do, 21 thrusters and then feel recovered enough to get up on the pull-up bar for 21
Got
reps.
two examples for you.
you know,
Luke McMahon, Matty Sturt.
yeah.
Bang.
What about them?
Weak legs, massive deadlifts.
Maddie Sturt doesn't have weak legs.
Doesn't she?
No.
Or is she the
I
opposite?
don't think either of them have weak legs.
I mean, like comparatively, like across the field, like maybe like Luke McMahon probably comparatively has lower squat numbers. I think his best squat would be about I'd say about 180 kilos. That was probably him in his prime. But yeah, Sturt is like almost squat cleaning 110. Like,
Yeah, okay. She can O-lift. I've just seen her.
she is such a pocket rocket.
Yeah.
She is a weapon. She's mad dog.
But anyways, question. This is a doozy for you. In the fitness industry, everyone sort of someone creates a video of content and then like the whole world jumps on it and goes on it. At the moment, people are like arguing why you should back squat in CrossFit. And I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you have an answer?
Why you should back squat full
Yeah.
start?
Yeah, because it's not. I mean, in CrossFit, we don't really see the back squat often, unless you're doing like a 1RM in like the CrossFit Total, which is one event out of 1,000. And then if that might be a back squat workout, but like that doesn't happen often. So it's like, why are we back squatting? Why don't we just front squat? Because we only front squat.
A lot of weightlifters now aren't back squatting people. It's weird. And I don't have an answer except for back squats are fun.
I think that
That's
you
my
can
answer.
you can get more weight on the bar in a back squat.
Yeah.
So I mean, high bar squat. I think that it's like putting a belt on almost. When you can put more load on the bar. The bigger the load, the bigger the mechanical tension on your body, the bigger force production. I think that
So you're saying like back squat might carry over to deadlift more?
It still carries over to the front squat. If your back squat goes up, your front squat will likely go up. Not always guaranteed, but if you're practicing the skill of front squatting still.
Yeah. Or even if you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if your front-
100%
if your
your
front
back
squat-
squat will carry over to your deadlift more because your torso angles
Yeah.
like more replicates the pull.
That's one argument, I reckon. Back squat carries over to deadlift more, but they'll just say,
That's
just up
the argument for low bar squats is that, that's why I like power lifters low bar squat because the torso angle more closely represents the deadlift. You're even more hinged over in a low bar squat. So you can use those stronger muscles around your hips.
Well,
Hips.
in back squat, you're back squat. In CrossFit, you're sort of back squatting for stimulus, though. Like in powerlifting, you're back squatting because that's the sport. You have to back squat, so they take advantage of the angle. So by doing a low bar squat, like we don't actually have to back squat in CrossFit, though.
There might be a workout that you have
Yeah,
to
that's what
back
I mean.
squat.
There
You
might-
may get tested on your back squat.
So would it be better to do? So say we do 2-to-1, back squats the front, right? Which is what we do. I'll gladly go out on a limb and say, out of all the times we've done front squats versus back squats, it's probably we back squat twice, and we might front squat once, maybe even 3-to-1. If we did the other way around and we front squatted 3 times to 1 back squat, would that be better? I don't know.
I think also you got to remember because we're doing clean still that your frequency of your front squatting is probably higher than you think because your clean is essentially you're in a front squat position. So yes, you might be front squatting once, but you're also cleaning and you're back squatting twice. So you really it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I also think that most of the population has an easier time back squatting than front squatting, just because front squats require, so like to be good at a front squat, you have to have a certain level of ankle mobility, and there's some people
Front rack mobility.
you have to have mobility in more places to do a good front squat than you do back squat.
But generally, you teach people a front squat before you back squat, though.
I never do. I never have. I always teach them how to. I get them to
I've
goblet
had
squat.
success. Well, that's
That's essentially
Same
a
as-
front squat.
yeah.
Yeah. The weight's in front, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be with a barbell.
Well,
it's just
It
about
is,
holding
it
your
is
weight.
but it isn't, right? Like,
Well, Shawnee this morning was sitting great front squats. I was like, bro, your front squats are good, man. Keep doing this. He's like, yeah, I'm liking them now. And he's someone that struggled with back squats for so long. But his front squats look sick this morning.
yeah, I think there's just something to be said for the back squat in the way that you can get more weight and load on that bar than the front squat, and overload your body more so, and overload your legs more so than you can in the front squat, and the post chain development that you receive from the back squat versus the front squat. It's almost like it creates a more holistic squat that transfers over to more exercises, and because you can get more load on the bar, yeah, you are receiving a different stimulus than you are to the front squat.
Yeah,
You know,
because I
it's going to
think
make a
that
stronger human.
in the front squat, right? The muscles that extend your thoracic, that hold your torso in place, are probably going to fail before your legs fail. Whereas in the back squat, because the weight's sitting over your center of mass, and you don't need to worry about holding your torso in position as much, you're probably going to, put more. Like, you'll be able to take your legs closer to failure, or you'll be able to,
Yeah, I
but
agree
if
with
you spent that time building up your front squat rather than your back, then that wouldn't happen because you wouldn't have uneven front rack compared to legs. But I don't know the answer. I like back squatting personally. I'm just thinking.
But in the meantime, you weren't able to overload your legs as much.
Yeah.
You weren't able to lift as much tonnage.
Yeah, because you got to look at it, right? The Chinese weightlifting team don't back squat. So like, why don't they back squat? But Olympic lifting is more quad dominant than CrossFit. CrossFit, we have a lot more post chain.
Is that true?
Yeah, Liu Xiaozhen doesn't back squat.
I've seen him back squat a lot.
When he was like 18. Yeah, he doesn't. We can Google it right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he says like the more weight injures him. They're lifting extreme.
yeah.
They're lifting extreme numbers, so that's why they don't
But
front squat.
I think I would personally also argue, like, yes, your back squatting is 18, and probably the training you're doing from when you're 15 to 20 is the most important training. It's like, don't look at the, like, we look at, you see all these, competitors in any sport, right? You're looking at the top of the top and you're watching what they're training, but you're not watching what they did 10 years ago when they actually did the things that actually made them good enough to do the things they're doing now. Like, you don't get better doing like I said, you don't get better doing the fancy stuff. You get better doing the basics. So, like, chances are they were doing. Like,
So, but for weightlifting, front squats might be better. But let's be honest.
well, you're putting yourself
gotta
in the position that you receive the clean.
Yeah. But for CrossFit, back squat, I feel like has a huge place because there's so much post chain stuff as well.
I also think that
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yep. Yeah, I think that front squatting is heaps more specific for weightlifters. I agree,
Yeah.
but I suppose if you were to front squat every day of the week, are you overloading that thoracic region too much in a position that you won't find in the back squat, and that's why you can supplement your squatting work with back squats. Or you could justify the program. I'd look at a weightlifting program and see front squats on it, or I could look at a weightlifting program and see back squats not on it, and I'd probably be indifferent about it. My personal bias would tend to lead me to put back squats on that program though.
Yeah, no, same. Well, I think 90% of weightlifting programs do have back squats. Probably 95, except for those extreme cases like Lou, and they're just I don't know, just don't. Yeah. So
that's probably that's
how
him managing neural fatigue, right? Because he's so strong,
Yeah.
and it takes him so long to recover because he's lifting ridiculous weights. Like, then he's like, I don't want to do this because it's beating me up. I can lift it, but it's beating me up more. Whereas I can get more quality training volume without back squatting. That's what he's saying.
Well,
right?
that makes sense. Well, his point is his legs are strong enough, I'm pretty sure. This all started from an interview that he had like a year ago because he said he never back squat. He hasn't back squatted in like 5 years or something. It was like his first interview that was translated. It was a translator. Anyways, I think that's where that all sort of started. So then everyone sort of jumped on board of that. I hate back squat train.
If
but
you had to pick one, what would you do? If you had to pick one, you can only do
it
one.
depends.
Well, for who? Like for Sam, or for for his people he's coaching, or like for CrossFitters, or like
For general
what are the
health.
parameters here? What are we?
For me specifically, I have a good back squat, so I would probably pick front squat. But
Yeah, for yourself.
yeah,
Yeah, fair enough.
but
I'd back squat because I fucking hate front squat.
yeah, but like front squats translate to CrossFit. I hate, man. Thrusters, you got like if you can't front squat, does that mean you can't not allowed to do thrusters or what?
I can do them.
Yeah.
I can do them. I just don't like it. Like the bar's pinned at your neck. You freaking think. I'm just thinking the whole time about pushing my knees forward. Like that's the thought in my head.
So in the weightlifting block that's coming up, this is a good topic. How often are we going to back squat?
I think you need to continue back
Once-
squatting personally.
Once a week.
Probably once a week.
Yeah.
So we'll have to back squat once a week, squat snatch, squat clean. Fuck, it's gonna be a lot of squat.
Clean and jerk.
And does that mean we're not front squatting or we are front squatting?
I reckon there should be 2 jerk days.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and one of them has to be a clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're clean jerking this next block. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank God.
See, so we're still front squat, man. What are you worried about?
Yeah, people.
Like if I had to choose one for myself,
Yeah,
to
but,
answer that question, it would be front squat. Because there's so many movements that I do front squats in, and I need to improve that front squat. Whereas like, yeah, back squat is just more of a tool that I use to get me better at other exercises. But
Yeah, I almost felt like, well, I feel like the best front squats I've ever done, like the best probably anything I've ever done really is like I was never lifting heavy at that specific exercise. It was always like I was back squatting heavy and then front squatting perfectly with speed. And then PB my front squat as a result of just doing lots of perfect repetitions, but you're still getting the overload in. You're still getting stronger through squatting heavy, but you're practicing perfect reps. And I feel like I feel like I can do perfect reps at a higher percentage whereas my front squats get a high percentage, things start to break down. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I can't make them look perfect.
I feel like
probably
I'm,
beyond
I feel like I'm the
90%.
same though. I feel like
Like they're getting ugly. Something's going. Like the elbows drop. Like you're losing a little bit of upper back. Your elbows are dropping. Your ass shoots up a little bit early. Like I feel like there's just more that go wrong in your front squat.
more can go wrong.
Yeah.
yeah,
where-
but like I don't like front squats though. Like we have front squats tonight. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, but I know they're good for me. So
I love them. I would pick them over a back squat any day of the week.
really, why?
I've,
Because you use less load. Less
I've just
warm-up.
naturally felt so much more comfortable in a front squat versus a back squat just my whole life. Yeah, I just have. Just on the front of your body. I just sit in that little pocket at the bottom, that hole, drive up into the bar. Whereas like I can see the bar. I don't know. It's just that bar's on my back and I don't know. I just don't feel strong out of a back squat. I just never have. But that's just my personal bias.
Yeah. I mean, I guess front squatting heavy is probably less scary because if something goes wrong, you just drop your elbows and the bar's on the ground. Whereas you get under a heavy back squat and if you ain't getting up, you're getting buried.
Yeah.
It's something a bit scary about like throwing it off your back, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like personally, I don't really fear the squats nowadays. The only thing I fear with squats is like passing out and then just like getting squashed. Like that would be
I'm
that'd
not
be the worst. That's the only thing
I'm not
which I don't
scared.
even think about because I wouldn't be awake for it. But like yeah, I've seen like some pretty like gnarly things go on with front squats, like elbows into the knee, wrist snap.
You
Like
can pass out easier on your front squat than a back squat just because where the bar's sitting.
yeah. But when it does drop, like it's probably going to drop forward, so it's probably safer. But
I've almost passed out doing a front squat.
yeah,
I probably have. I don't know. Definitely haven't. Probably nearly.
yeah,
I'm scared of O-lifting though. O-lifting's scary. I'm not scared of power lifts.
yeah. I mean,
Bench press maybe if you bench press by yourself.
Oh yeah,
well, there's yeah,
the O-lifts are the 100% scary than the power lifts.
yeah,
When you got to dive under a heavy snatch, you're like, got to get under that. That's half the people's reason why they can't. Their snatch sucks. They just fear. They get scared.
Yeah.
And that's half the reason. Most of the things that are stopping you from improving are in your mind. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like the psychology of training and like, the mind drags the body. Like if you can just toughen up, you'll probably get better.
yeah,
And
Let the
like,
dogs out, man.
yeah.
Adesanya did.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Maybe
Adesanya.
he was was wearing a
Did you
collar.
watch the
Yeah.
highlights?
I saw the
Oh.
highlights. I saw him. Yeah, I saw the highlights, but I didn't watch it. But
Yeah.
he's wearing a dog collar, man.
He was. He let the dog out hard. Yeah. Yeah, you do.
I don't think you need to start wearing a dog collar.
Right, I reckon I got a question, man, to finish this off. I reckon if you could pick 3 exercises that you could do for the rest of your life, you're only allowed to do those 3 for some weird reason. You can do variations by tempo and whatever.
And I'm just not allowed to do any other one.
No, you're not even allowed to accessorize it, man.
Walking
no, that doesn't count. With a bar, like in the gym.
in the gym.
3 exercises in the gym for the rest of your life. What are you picking?
Go, Russ.
I'm picking back squat.
Yeah.
I'm taking the back squat, number 1, and I'm taking handstand push-ups and pull-ups. That's
lame, I reckon. That's CrossFit as fuck.
well, that's my like if I'm like if I can't be bothered training and they're like my minimums, I'm like if I can just do pull-ups and handstand push-ups, like at least I know I'm gonna like retain most of my upper body strength, and also I'm not gonna be a fat cunt. You know what I mean?
Are you allowed to say the C word on this?
I don't know.
Is that a rule? Anyways, but
Well, yeah, that's
I heard that.
that's what
fat
goes.
is
Those words
also-
go through my
That's
head.
that's an F word too. Apparently, that's a trigger word for people. That's,
Hey, we click when we
Well,
post
Russ was
it. It
talking
says
about-
not made for kids,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Sorry, guys, if you don't appreciate that, but this is us.
so I don't know, right? Jack, you go. I need to think longer.
Well, I just keep thinking of how Rich Froning said the thruster. He's like, oh, if there was one exercise I could do for the rest of my life, it'd be the thruster.
Well, yeah, the thrust is a squat and a press.
but, you
God.
get
Shoot me if I
you get
that.
3.
But you can do it for strength.
No, but it's not just a squat and press; it's a clean. The cluster. I would do the cluster. I would do maybe like weighted strict pull-ups, and then
That's a pull up. I've got pull
no,
up.
you only said pull-ups. You don't get to
You
weight.
can do any sort of.
You
No,
can
you-
put,
any
you can
load
put
on
shit
it.
in your pockets, bro. You can put shit in your pockets to weigh.
You can eat a Big Mac and then go hit some pull ups.
And then like I want to pick a cardio exercise. Got to shout out to my cardio fam.
No, cardio's allowed. Cardio's allowed. It's lifting.
Well, you're not allowed to run,
No, yeah, no, he doesn't have to pick a cardio exercise. You can pick a.
mate. You choose thrusters. That's a cardio exercise.
Well, no, not if we go heavy.
I can't believe none of you Fruit Loops have picked deadlift, man.
Yeah, look, I like deadlifting. I love deadlifting.
That's
it feels
like
good all the time.
one exercise that will train your whole backside, dude. You don't even need to do anything. Deadlift, bang.
Deadlift's pretty good.
I reckon deadlift dip. Deadlift dip, probably back squat.
Yeah,
Maybe get rid of dip. Maybe bench, bro. Maybe I'm going powerlifter.
yeah.
What? So you're dipping and you're bench
No.
pressing?
I got rid of dip.
You've got. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dip might be better for shoulder health, though. Like weighted dips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was tossing up between dip and then I'm like,
They are.
I value the
They train
ability
the
to put my
Serratos.
hands above my head. So I think handstand push-ups are better.
Yeah, but he's got thruster.
They train the low traps, the dips.
He's got thruster. He's got.
Thrust is not even a real movement. That's just that's two they slap together.
Bear complex, bro. It's everything.
That's like saying I'm going to do clean and jerks. That's 2 movements. Thrust is basically 2 movements. It's a squat and a
Oh
push
yeah, can we
press.
pick clean and jerk?
You can't just
Jerks
start
are
picking
good.
complexes.
In fairness, snatch is a good one because you train your overhead as well.
But for the rest of your life, you have to think about the longevity element of this.
I mean, you'd have
because
fun
like
doing
you don't want to
snatch.
be like you can't be you're gonna be 80. All you can do is snatches.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big man. I'm dip. I'm dip, not ring dip. I'm talking like 2 posts, like normal dips.
I'm just so sad about all the exercise I'm losing.
Yeah. Well, it's not a real scenario, man. The CrossFit gods aren't coming, but say they did, and you could only
Thanks,
pick
man.
3.
Thanks, dude.
I mean, at least I'd be happy.
Have you still answered? Have you answered?
no, I haven't hit my 3rd one in.
Well, Russ, no rep your first one anyway.
No, ripped it.
Now you can thrust if you want
It's
to.
one
I mean,
word.
look at that
No,
idiot over there doing
thrusting.
thrusters every
I'm,
day.
I'm clustering, but it's like instead of a push press, it's like a jerk. I drop under, so I go heavier.
Yeah,
I
but
don't want
you
to
can
be
never,
limited by
you
that.
can never
by that
just
push
clean the
press.
bar. You've always got to put it above your head. That's so inconvenient.
That's all right. I mean, well, how many days a week do we train with our 3 exercises?
Every day, man.
Every day.
That's what I would do. I've got the 3 best ones.
You're gonna squat, bench, dead every single day.
No, I'm gonna squat and do pull-ups and handstand push-ups.
Just every day.
Yeah, or maybe have a day off every now and again.
Dang.
I'll do it 3 times a week, dude.
Yeah, no, I'd probably train 4 times a week. to be
Do
honest.
one, do them heavy one day, do them
You can
medium the other day.
You can
do
have a day
them
off
for
on.
cardio.
But you can't. I mean, like if
You can have a day off on day 4 when you're paralytic and you can't move.
Dude, I've got my training split. So I reckon I've mastered it. You do heavy 3s, day 1. Then you do 8s. So this is dip, this is dip, this is back squat, dip, deadlift. Is that what it said? Yeah.
Yeah,
So you do heavy 3s.
listen up, guys.
Heavy 3s on Monday.
Yeah.
Wednesday or Thursday, you do sets of 8 heavy.
Yeah.
Like moderate, like let's say 8 RPE. And then on Saturday, you do a 20-minute AMRAP of like 10 reps.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's light.
Sam's retirement plan. Man.
that would get anyone pretty good at CrossFit, I reckon.
Dang. No, you can't beat that.
What? You can't beat what he said. Wait, I mean, this
It's
sounds.
better than
Oh, look,
Russ's
this is
program.
this is an intro. This is
It's
so.
better than Russ's program, bro. Is it,
Man,
is it back squats and the handstand push-ups and
Oh,
pull-ups?
I gotta go.
Oh.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
But...
Oh,
I gotta go.